Back over that, and we're going to zigzag the very edge over here. Again, we pivoted. Now we come right on back down here. Now I want to show you with our center seam nicely finished. We're going to open this up. I'm going to iron it in place. And then I'm going to do a rolled hem just like I did on the bottom of our skirt. I'm going to do it right along here. Yes, I'm doing the rolled hem before we're finishing the shorts. But it's going to be so much easier on these little doll outfits. Alright, now you can see I've ironed down and I've pinned at 1/4 inch the hem on both the legs. I'm going to start in reverse. I'm going to stitch that hem all the way around. And believe me, it's so much easier doing it this way than later on when we have the other seam in. Okay, do the same thing on the other side, the other leg. Alright, now that we've got that hem in place, we're going to come over here, we're going to line it up, and we're going to go all the way to the top. What we're going to do is we're going to put that straight stitch in right here, straight stitch. We're going to come back and zigzag the edge because of course we want a nice inside to our little shorts or bloomers. Do the same thing on the other side. Okay, let's take that. Okay, with the needle down position, I'm going to stitch up, go back, and just go right on forward. I've got that lined up with the side of our presser foot again. That's very simple. Clipping all our threads. It's so easy to just clip your threads as you go, otherwise they end up in your seam. I'm going to go back and I'm going to zigzag along this edge. Right, what I'm doing now is I'm going to take our elastic and I'm going to fit it around the waist. I'm going to measure it to our doll. Doing just a little bit of room to overlap. That is 11 inches exactly. Now the reason I want to show you that is, if you noticed, I pulled it kind of snugly around her waist. Now if you're making shorts for yourself or bloomers or any skirt or anything for yourself, you're going to want to do the same thing. You're going to want to pull it snugly. You're going to want to overlap it just a little bit so that you'll be able to sew it in place. Okay? The next thing we're going to do is we're going to take our little bloomer shorts, and I ironed it down 1/4 inch all the way around the top. Then I'm going to fold it one more time. Okay, now our elastic is exactly 1/2 inch, so we are going to make our casing 3/4 inch. Exactly. I'm going to iron that down all the way around. Okay, I want to show you. I have pinned this in place all the way around. Alright, I put our needle down. Begin. Reverse. And I'm going to stitch all the way around. Now, all the way around, except I'm going to leave about 1.5 inches opening so that I have room to put our elastic in, just like that. So let's do that. Okay. There's the seam. There's where we started. I'm going to stop about 1.5 inches. And I'm going to end that seam. Okay, ladies and girls, this is how you put elastic in a waistband. You take one end and you put a safety pin on it. Take the other end of this elastic and we're going to safety pin that in place. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this safety pin and I'm going to slip it in here. Put that safety pin in there, take your fingers and you just scrunch it right along. Right now I have inched that through all the way around and I'm coming out the other side. And here it is. Pull it all around. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that my elastic is not twisted anywhere, because that doesn't look nice. And if you're making bloomers or anything for yourself, that's not going to feel nice either. Okay, so now I can take off those safety pins. I'm going to pull them out, pull my elastic out, again being real careful that we don't accidentally twist it now at this point either. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these two raw edges, put them just like this, and I'm going to sew them together nice and securely. I go back and forth, just to secure that elastic in place. Here are our little bloomers. Now we have our elastic nicely in here. However, we still have that hole where we put the elastic in. So we need to go back and we need to straight stitch that hole closed. We're going to start back up, go straight across here, and then back up again. Okay. Now I'm just going to do a straight stitch right along the edge just to close that hole that was left open. Aren't these so cute? I just love them, our little bloomer shorts. And they look so cute on our dolls too. Okay, now for our tie backs, this is what we're going to do. We're going to take two pieces. This is 8 inches long by 1.5 inches. What I'm going to do is I'm going to iron it in half like this, and then I'm going to iron this under and this under, and I'll show you. Okay, iron it in half first. And I'm going to turn this under and iron it. And then I'll iron this side, and I'm using that center line that we just made as a reference. And I want to come to the end, and I'm going to fold this up just a bit. Just like this. A little bit over 1/4 inch. Right in place like that. And I'll fold it back in half, hiding that. And once again, I'm just going to go over where it was folded in half. And I'm going to sew a straight stitch right along that, reversing all the way down. And see, I'm going right down the center of that. Reverse, and I've got my tie back. Same thing on the other tie back now. Okay, what I'm going to do, here we have our dress, and I'm going to take it right above that waist seam, and I'm going to lay it so that the edge that is stitched and open just slightly is going to be pointing down. I'm going to take 2 inches. I'm going to go 2 inches over, right here. And I'm going to have it pointing in this direction. This is our finished edge down here. Have it pointing in this direction. I'm going to pin it right there. I'm going to do the other side the same way, 2 inches. Okay, now I have that raw edge right there. I have it pinned just above the waistline. I'm going to move it up, and I'm going to put this in the needle down position so it's holding that in place. I'm going to remove that pin now because that needle's holding it in place. I'm going to stitch down. I'm going to stitch back, and I'm going to go ahead and stitch down again, and then back. Okay, with the needle up, I want you to watch this very carefully. I'm going to turn this over, and I'm going to stitch along that line again. Putting the needle down, I'm going to go forward. I'm going to go backwards. And go forward again. Backward again. I want that nice and secure. Let me show you what I've done here. Okay, it is doubly secured on there. It is both secured under here, and then it is secured on the top. Now this is a way that you can put tie backs on. If you have not put them in the side seam, you can always put them in the side seam if you want to. But this is a nice way to do it, and this is actually a more flattering look for when you are sewing your own clothes. It's going to be a more flattering waistline look than putting it in the side seam. I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. All right, here I have that raw edge. It's placed just above the waistline. I'm going to move this forward. I'm going to put my needle down. Now, since I put my needle down to secure that, I can take this pin out. I press her foot down. I'm going to go forward, backward, forward again, backward again. Want that nice and secure right off that. Okay, with the needle up, let me show you this. We've caught the edge of that. Now we're going to fold it over, laying it down, and we are going to put this back down again. We're going to stitch right over the top of that. Now it's going in this direction. And we're going to go back. We're going to go straight. We're going to go back again. And there we have it. Clip those threads off and it'll be nice and secure. All right, of course, bloomers are really not meant to be shown, but for the sake of our camera, I'll show you. There they are, our bloomers. Doesn't she look sweet?